Aquarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation read for April and May 2021. I am your reader. Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal, and friend to many of an Aquarian, as I pretty much say every time I do an Aquarian reading. Welcome aboard. If you're new, let's get down to some business, and then we'll get down to business. Just letting you know that Drawing the Circle Productions has been expanding quite a bit this year. My book, Words of Grace, now on Kindle, has really inspired a lot of creativity in a lot of different areas within the company. We've been bringing on new readers to the channel, Nancy Antonucci, Mal Flanders. There are more in process getting themselves ready to come on to the channel. I've been doing stuff on Facebook, right? My Drawing the Circle Productions Facebook page. We're now monetized to do paid like Zoom events. I subscribe to Zoom and all of that. So we're doing tarot parties and lectures and workshops and stuff like that, free as well as paid. So go check it out. Yeah, and I'm really happy the direction the company is going in. It's a little slow and steady wins the race considering what we've been going through for the past year or so. I think you know, in terms of work, career, vocation, which is a good segue into let's talk about work, career, and vocation. This is a 9-card spread. It's called the 3-Level of Power spread, inspired by the work of Carolyn Myss. This is her archetype deck. We're going to start off with 3 cards from this deck, 3 cards from Daughters of the Moon Tarot, and 3 cards from the Mythic Tarot to look at your life purpose in 3 levels of power: work, career, vocation. Just 3 ways of looking at it. You can use 3 levels of power so many different ways, looking at your life through those different lenses. There is a link in the description box below to an intro to that with Carolyn Myss herself, M-Y-S-S. Don't call her Ms. Myss. She don't like it. So she's either Caroline or I think professor. Well, she's got a doctorate, she's a PhD. She's a master. She's amazing. Anyway, that aside, yeah. So it's a very holographic read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. It is a general read, standard YouTube reading rules apply, right? Check your other signs, because even if we're looking at the very same work, career, vocation for your sun sign that is in your moon sign, you might get totally different guidance and grace, which is my job. So please, if you can, I ask this of all people who watch my readings, if you can, both feet on the floor, only if you can, right? Don't worry about it if you're already kicked back, it's fine. Kick it back. And focus on your breath, if you will, fixed air sign that you are, and I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can from being in the present moment with my pantheons of the divine working through me to get you what you need for a specific time period. 2 months, what's left of April and all of May. I guess that's about it. All the decks that I read are in the description box all the way at the bottom with lots of cool links down there, like a link to my book and Facebook and all the other stuff that I'm doing. Cool, cool. I guess that's about it. Please take a nice deep breath. Because it took me 3 hours today to get ready to record, so it's like, can we get to the fun part, please? The part that I'm really good at, which is what's about to hit the table. One more nice deep breath, my aquariums. And here we go, my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose through work, career, and vocation, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, 5th dimension above, 8th chakra and above. I need 3 cards in clarity for the Aquarian Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Let's look at their work, career, vocation, 3 levels of power. First, 1 card face down. What is the dominant archetype? Being alchemized from lead to gold, the soul power they are refining in their work. Considering this card to be sort of the 8th chakra aspect of their work, their physical power, their physical world, their survival intuition, what's going on in their career. Heart, throat, third eye, crown. This is root, sacrum, solar plexus, the physical world. This is more the personal level of power, the psychological world, your emotional power, your willpower, what you want, your mental power, and that spiritual power of the crown chakra, that inspiration, please. What's the dominant archetype there? Sort of the 8th chakra of their career for April, May 2021. And now let's look at that 8th chakra, their vocation, their spiritual calling. The star that summons them forward, handing them fate so they can achieve destiny. April, May in their vocation, please. The dominant archetype going on there. we're good to go. Now, these cards are supposed to be triggering. They have both light and shadow attributes on it. The shadow is what you don't want to look at within yourself, or if you do know about it, you don't want anybody to know about it, right? It's what shadow work is all about, is acknowledging and embracing and all of that. The light is what's being developed in your work, career, vocation, whether you're aware of it or not. And I have to say, one of them is rather intense and triggery, but I don't think the other two will be as triggery. Now, of course, it's already in the title. You know what they are. You've got the Judge archetype in your work, a wisdom family archetype, the Midas miser archetype in your career. That is a creative family archetype, and the Exorcist archetype in your vocation. Now, I'm going to say, if you're going to have that anywhere, have that up in that 8th chakra, so you're not doing literal or creative exorcism, you're doing spiritual exorcism. So we'll get into that in a minute. I'm going to read you what's on the cards so that you know the basic thumbnail sketch of the parameters, the sliding percentage scale of lead to gold, shadow to light, right? Toxic to healthy. The shadow attribute of the Judge, offering only destructive criticism. You know when you're in a bad mood. You know, Aquariums. Misusing business or criminal authority. Now, particularly with the Judge, that's putting your thumb on the scale, looking the other way for somebody else, right? But in terms of that particular power, the wisdom of that in terms of fairness, right? So misusing the abuse of your own power in that way. So in the physical world, I get it. That this might even be in some ways happening to you, depending on what you do in the world for work. Now, to clarify this, the 3 cards that are going to go here are really about how you survive in the physical world. Some people don't get paid for that stuff. I don't. I get paid in my career. The work that I do every day to set the lenses, I'm like, seriously, it took me 3 hours before I could hit record. A lot going on for a Sunday morning when I'm doing this, right? So, you know, I don't make my money with all that stuff. It's what comes from that work. In other words, I lay the platform, and then the creativity and the healing and all that stuff goes. And then my mysticism, you know, as a mystic, my spiritual life, I've got all 3 of them going at once. For most people, it's not that way. So the light attribute, whatever's going on in your physical world, right, how you're interacting, root, sacrum, solar plexus issues, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. And that can be financial power, that can be any different way in terms of physical power in survival. So that's interesting, but there's wisdom to be gained here through experience. So you might be the one being judged, right, evaluated. That's what I love being about my own boss. It's like, oh, it's time for my quarterly evaluation. Ah, you're fabulous. Next. Oh, you're great too. Most days, not really like that. Midas Miser is really great. It's a very alchemical. I mean, all archetypes have alchemy in them, lead to gold, however you want to see that. But this one in particular, I mean, Midas is the golden touch, but Miser, hoarder, the shadow attribute, hoarding money and emotions. Notice it doesn't say or, it says and, right? Hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. Now look, honestly, unless you ain't got it like that, I don't know anybody. I mean, I know people with a lot of money who still they're watching the stock market and everything that's gone on in the past year. So there can be an obsessive fear. You can have an obsessive fear about anything, but this is very, very, very specific about wealth, obsessive fear of losing your wealth, and I get it. And if you are an empath, I have to say this every reading. If you are an empath, if you have even 2% of that in your energy field, you might be feeling the 98% of everybody else who has the obsessive fear of losing their wealth in any given moment. And you know it's more than 1% of people, of the population, feeling that. So it's very, very wild. The light attribute, the creative alchemy here for you, entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold. Witch work, right? Delight in sharing life's riches. It's beautiful. Heart, throat, third eye crown. That's great. So look, you're probably somewhere in that 50-50, you know, scale thing. Where are you? Are you 49% lead, 51% gold? Who is all the time? You know, but as we keep doing this is great. I mean, it really feels like you're getting some inspiration to bring things into creatively. Money is an issue. You're afraid of losing it, particularly perhaps investing too much creative energy, while things might be a little on the scale skills, so to speak, in your work. In your vocation, though, this might very well be, I mean, this feels like a good leverage card. I was trying to find, like, what is the leverage card? Like, if you focus on this, it'll help balance the others, because it's all your life purpose. The Exorcist, are you kidding me? Avoid pea soup. No, it doesn't. You're all gonna die, don't you? Forget it. Shadow attribute. Fear of facing your own demons. And my darlings, my aquariums, my aqualungs, what is a demon but an angel that has forgotten who it is? Our fears, right? The worst case scenarios that haunt us, that sneak up on us. If you ever read Eat, Pray, Love, I forget if Elizabeth Gilbert, I think she's in Italy when it happens, the eat part of the book. And I think she talks about her two demons come to them, loneliness, and I think the other one's guilt. Like, she names them, right? Well, that's the lead, and that we need to alchemize. Like, well, there's no healing without lead, right? There's no alchemy without lead. There's no healing without pain. So, you know, what are your demons? And this is coming from an 8th chakra place. Getting up into the 8th chakra isn't the easiest thing in the world, although according to the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, in a way, it's the simplest thing in the world, not necessarily the easiest. To really see from the higher self, or even from the soul's point of view, what your demons are, and do understand those were written into this life, your personality, before you ever incarnated, right? It's a long story, but it's like to really see that, yeah, well, who doesn't have a fear of facing their own demons? But wait till you catch the gold, the light attribute, freeing yourself and others from destructive impulses. Impulses. Everybody has destructive impulses. I do, right? Bad day. You should have seen me when I couldn't work. If any of you noticed that there is a gap a little bit this week in me putting out the videos, it was because there was a Microsoft update that wouldn't let my video editing software work, and I had to call in an Aquarian. Thank God he was able to do it from his computer, right? He did it remote. It was great. And it got fixed in an hour or two, and it's great, and I owe him dinner. Dear friend of mine, an Aquarian, right? So, you know, I get those destructive impulses, but I know those are the hurt places inside of myself. Those are the hurt places inside of humanity, you know? When those come up, those destructive, what is it? Anger is a response to feeling powerless. Yeah, that's just one way of looking at it. Anger. Oh yeah, I just put out a solar plexus thing. Yeah, look at the channel. I just did 2 grace videos on the solar plexus. Third one's coming out in a couple of days, or maybe even later today. So very powerful, spiritual, freeing yourself and others. Like, what does an exorcist do? All right. No, just too much. That humor is way too dark, guys, for a work, career, vocation reading for my aquariums. Please. I saw that movie in a drive-in when I was like, what, 7, 8 years old. A double feature with the gang that couldn't shoot straight, or didn't, the gang that couldn't shoot straight. Yeah, great movie for kids. What a weird double feature. Yeah, go look it up. All right, Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Now, since we've got sort of the 8th chakra of your work, career, and vocation, we're going to look at your internal experience, your own feminine energy, your psychological power, heart, third eye, crown stuff. What's your internal experience of this? Please take a nice deep breath. This will help you clarify on really what to focus on. Breathe. Yeah, go within. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Let's get a little more precision here, please. My goddesses of air and the sign of Aquarius, please. 3 cards in clarity to clarify. Work, career, vocation, 3 levels of power for the Aquarian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Watching this video, receiving this reading, please, my beloved goddesses of air and the sign of Aquarius, please. What's going on in their work there? What's their experience of this? Heart, third eye, crown with the Judge archetype in their work, April, May 2021. The Midas miser in their career. The ability to really even take their fears and alchemize that into creative gold. That's nice. April, May 2021, their internal and in their vocation. They've got the Exorcist archetype. Now, I have to say, Midas, Miser, and Exorcist have a similarity there. It's just, I believe the Exorcist is the divine family archetype, if I'm not... it's like the shaman. Like, there isn't a shaman card in this deck, but that's part of it, like embracing the shadow and that sort of stuff. Maybe, please, what is their internal experience in their vocation with that Exorcist archetype? Let's find out. A 1, a 2, a 3. Well, no major arcana cards. Oh, how very, very interesting. You've got the Judge archetype with the Libra card. Your only court card here today. So far, we've still got 3 more tarot that'll hit the table in the next line. But you've got the Libra card, Skadi, the North Wind, the Mother of Blades, which in this deck... No, actually, Mother of Blades, Libra, which would be the King of Swords, because Cardinal... Right, cardinal air is Libra, fixed air is Aquarius, mutable air is Gemini, and they're nuts. So Skadi, and look, it's literally the sign of Libra, the sign of the scales, the sign of balance. So any planets you have in Libra, obviously that's maybe well indicated there. A little extra tip for those of you who may or may not. But this is definitely about relationships, particularly one-on-one relationships, particularly second chakra stuff. Look at me, cover my solar plexus. Yeah. Like, I'm getting this thing, like, you need to step back and really evaluate the fairness in your one-on-one relationships in your work. Now, that could also be your relationship with money, second chakra. That could be relationship with your own creativity. If there's anything that's unfair that's going on externally, that you're weighing this inside yourself. Now, I'm going to say, really, really, really pay attention to your second chakra in terms of second chakra, think umbilical cord. There are videos on my channel about this stuff. Second chakra is one-on-one relationships, right? It does not have to be romantic, sexual at all. This could be a boss, this could be an employee, but it is that thing of balancing this out. Are you putting out more than, something feels unfair, right? So, depending, like, which side of the scale are you on this? Are you employer? Are you employee? Is it just the unfairness of what's going on in the world in terms of your work? Because of the certain new boundaries we've had to evolve and may have to keep for a while? I'm trying to dance around the subject. I was a dancer. I still am. I dance every day. What do you think? I get all this energy just by sitting there. It's like, no, I have a playlist, YouTube playlist, and I jam the fuck out every day that I record. Yoga and a little Missy Elliott, a little Pat Benatar, a little Joan Jett. It's a lot of fun. I love being self-employed. Look, this Midas miser, darling, you got the 8 of Cups. You want to walk the fuck away from whatever's going on in the physical world to go deeper into your creativity. Duh. Right? I love this card, though. It's so different than the usual 8 of Cups that we see. Yeah, it's not so much walking away from. I mean, it is, but it's walking into. This woman got in a boat with a torch, rowed at night. That ain't easy. How do you do that without just paddling in circles? A little literal-minded today. But following a trail of cups into a cave, right? She's going into seclusion. This is a willing thing. No one dropped her off there. No one exiled her there. She's there on her own with that torch, her own will, her own desire. And some of those cups are knocked over and some of them aren't, right? So there is some internal reflection time. There is some pulling back. Really, if you are evaluating what's fair and what's not inside of yourself, I think you're going to come into contact with, let's just say, material in your heart, third eye crown, whether it's emotional, whether it's old choices you may have regrets about, you know, some ideas, some inspirations, lead and gold, all of that. That's really going to emotionally show you your lead, show you the fate that has been handed you, and the alchemy into destiny, because the hero on the hero's journey is handed fate, what they cannot change. Figuring out what to do there, weighing that out. But will they take the call, right? The hero's journey is calling. Will you take the call, right? And alchemize through the hero's journey that fate into destiny, right? Which is necessary, right? Some of the worst hardships we've been through and some of the worst betrayals we've been through, I mean, I'm talking as humanity, has inspired some of the greatest creativity on planet Earth. And sometimes it does start with that, oh yeah, well, fuck you, watch what I do now, right? There's nothing wrong with that in the beginning. You just don't want to carry that all the way through, right? If it's a grudge goal, you know, I'll show you, which is helpful, but it's not very Aquarian, I'll say that. I'll say that too, right? But be careful of the obsessive fear, because the word that triggers me there, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. Now, I am self-employed, and yes, I have many channels of income, but ultimately there's only one source, the divine, right? How what I need comes to me every day. But I find that it's only what I need. Not necessarily always what I want. And this is a Matt Kahn thing, but my guides have now said it to me enough times that when what you want and what you need are the same thing, you get it. And you go, oh, I manifested it. But when what you want is not quite yet what you need, doesn't mean it won't be. You go, oh, what am I doing wrong? And in that, we can drive ourselves crazy and be very, very obsessive about, but if I do that, I might lose this. And if that loses, I won't. See what I mean? So there's some deeper stuff here. Maybe you are dealing with the ego wound of loss, which everybody has fear of because it's happened before and there's unprocessed baggage there. Could totally be that, particularly if there's been a loss of a job or a career opportunity. But here's what's so fucking fascinating here. 10 of Cups. The Harvest card. Immense wisdom here for you with the Exorcist archetype. I mean, that's saying something. It's like saying, here's the gold, the spiritual gold that you're going to bring down into your career, heart, third eye crown, by going within and alchemizing whatever's there, the lead to gold, so that you can really make the wise, right? Let's get this right. That you'll be able to balance justice and compassion and manage the fair distribution of power, which means if there is something hanky going on, something unfair going on, maybe even something legal in play here, you are able to do it, to go through the process, but being able to do it with compassion rather than with, well, because what's justice without compassion? Revenge. Oh, that sort of said it. My guy's like, yeah, it's them. It's all them. I am just the speaker, my crown chakra microphone for the divine. But I won't call myself a channel. Nope. I don't, honey, I learned all that stuff back in the mid to late 80s. Now I look back, I'm like, woo! Seth Roberts, Seth Speaks. Anyway, let's keep going. Like, no one's going to get that unless they know. There's this book, Seth Speaks, and if you Google image it, you'll see the book cover I'm talking about, which used to freak out my roommate in college so badly, Lillian Carter, choreographer and filmmaker, who her video woman is on my channel. And I talk to her at least once a week now, which the beauty of the internet. Yeah, aquariums, thank you, is a very internet thing, aquarium thing. All right, look, I'm just telling you, this is a mystery even to me, right? Because it's like, it's just saying everything you need, all of your harvest, all the hard work you've put into, it's ready to come down in and through. But with that Midas miser archetype, you've got to look at what you're holding on to, what that obsessive fear is, which I get is totally valid. It's just you need more lead than gold in your system in order to get this balanced out. And that's for all of us too. All right, so let's see. What does this look like on the outside? Either you from the outside looking in or some aspect of the situation from the GPS. All right, please take a nice deep breath. The goddess positioning system. I like that. Oh, my gods, my gods, my gods of air and the sign of Aquarius. There you are, my beloved gods of air. And the sign of Aquarius, please. 3 cards in clarity. Almost got distracted. 3 cards in clarity for the Aquarian Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I'm watching this video, receiving this reading. What's going on in the root sacrum solar plexus in their work, career, vocation, so to speak? Something going on in the physical world, either them from the outside looking in, like how they appear, or some aspect of the physical to really help them target this, getting them the clarity they need in tandem with the other 6 cards on the table, please. So they've got the Judge archetype in their work with Skadi, the North Wind, the Libra card, Mother of Blades, King of Swords, so probably even being very clear, trying to be very, very loin and very clear, and maybe not so emotional there. What's going on the outside there? What does this look like? Our root sacrum solar plexus there in their work, in their career. They've got the Midas miser, huge. That might even be, you know what, with the Exorcist in the 8th, this is their leverage, right? Because if they can do that mental, emotional, psychological alchemy thing with the 8 of Cups, withdrawal written on the cards, then they can really access that harvest. So please, because it wouldn't have the infrastructure, the wiring to handle that download. Please, what does that look like on the outer in their career? And with that Exorcist, with the Harvest, Ten of Pentacles in their vocation, please, what does that look like on the outside? Get out, get out, get out. 2 kings and a queen. Girl, work. Well, and what I love about the decks that I use in tarot is literally the zodiac sign is stamped on it symbolically. You can't miss it. So here's what's interesting from the outside looking in. And the thing with this is now we've added people, and it is the root chakra, so to speak, the external part of this. This could be either you from the outside looking in or somebody that you're dealing with. No shit. So you got the Judge, right? And on the inside, you've got that Libra, that King of Swords. Well, on the outer, there's Queen of Cups, the Scorpio card, Helena Troy. Somebody's holding back, keeping secrets, not seeing, but feeling what's going on. So if this is you, and you know, you don't have to have planets in Scorpio to have the Queen of Cups represent you in a reading. It just means that your intuitive faculties, fixed water, 8th house, about money, sex, and power, right? Other people's resources, even to an extent the occult, the occluded, and mysticism. Not so heavy here, but it feels like a really simple interpretation of this is that, yeah, you got the Judge archetype being alchemized. The physical situation is helping you alchemize this lead to gold. You are weighing it inside of yourself, but from a fixed air, a cardinal air point of view. You are an air sign. So that's why look at your Libra qualities, right? And your 7th house is probably about a one-on-one relationship. Maybe if it's not, and that's who this person could be as well, by the way, as I said, but that in the physical world, you might be very not sharing, right? Not sharing your emotions. In fact, here we have the Midas miser in the shadow, hoarding money and emotions. And Scorpios are kind of known for that. It doesn't mean they're not emotional, and they're wicked sensitive and incredibly intuitive. Very, very deep. But not always so overt. They tend to be more covert. Fixed water. Somebody said swamp water. Because look at all the life that lives in like one drop of swamp water. You know what I mean? That's some heavy duty Judy, but that's okay. Let's look at, see, I think this is wonderful. You got the Midas miser with this withdrawal, right? The 8 of Cups going within with the King of Cups, the Cancerian card, creative water. I feel like this is you. Regardless of whether you have any planets in Cancer, comment below if any of this zodiacally hits you in particular, right? Or someone you know, right? That the King of Cups, it is that 4th house. It's being at home. It's being in your own skin. I really feel like if you are there's a difference between hoarding your emotions and having a healthy boundary so that you can go through and feel your fears in a way that aren't necessarily blown all over social media. I am very that. As a Virgo, I'm a Pisces moon. Leo rising, right? So I'm authentic as fuck, but that doesn't mean everybody gets to see my process all the time. Oh, no. I live alone. Only my cats get to see it, right? And my close confidants, of which an Aquarius is one of them, one of a small handful of people really get to hear the full tea when I'm hemorrhaging, so to speak. You know what I mean? And there might be some of that here. Look, the obsessive fear of losing your wealth. I completely understand that. And, you know, what does it take? That anything can trigger that. Someone else going through that can trigger that for you. So there is an emotional maturity here that's telling you go in, alchemize this lead to gold. Because what I love here, entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything into gold, including your own fear by whatever arises. Love that. First book by Matt Kahn. You know I love his work. I've been thinking of adding a Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck card to this, but some of them are a little too much, I think, if they would come up, but we'll see. Maybe next month. Here you've got the Exorcist with the 10 of Pentacles, and who the fuck do you got on that? The King of Pentacles, the Capricorn card. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Slow and steady wins the race, but highest potential. that in terms of money, I get that. Who wouldn't be afraid? Kind of looking for clues, tips, and hints on YouTube. But you've got a 10 of Pentacles there with the King of Pentacles. It's like King of the Mountain. Now it is Saturnian. Yes, there are rules. And with this Exorcist, this might very well be about absolutely accepting that there are destructive impulses, right? Particularly if things are unfair. And so with that Scorpio Queen of Cups, I can totally see an Aquarian sitting on their throne, legs crossed, sort of like a Virgo in that way. Just being like, I want to kill you, but I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to feel it, but I'm not going to act on it, because chances are this has nothing to do with you directly, right? This is a justice thing. This could very much be triggering you, and again, if you're an empath, you could be feeling the injustice of the world right now in so many different ways, shapes, and forms, but particularly financial. Yeah, this is a really wild reading, but you will be able to, and the word she uses, freeing yourself of others from destructive impulses through the alchemy that you are able to do. Now, going within and saying, okay, I've got this perhaps rage, vengeance. I am the night. I am vengeance. I am Catman, right? Shred your couch. To embrace that, but not embrace it in a physical way, right? That, you're like, no, I have to, whatever's in your honor code. If you don't know what's in your honor code, no one else can tell you. It's very solar plexus stuff there. Read my book, Words of Grace. Just saying, it's in there. It's like ragu. It's in there. Oh my goodness gracious. But look, I feel like you're going to not just come out on top. You're going to come out on top in a way that you are free from perhaps even the external bullshit going on in your work, career, vocation. And if I were to say which of these three levels of power has the most leverage, I have to say, it really is sort of dependent upon what you do inside yourself, heart, third eye crown, to set up the circuitry, that is really the word, the energetic infrastructure in your nervous system to download this, to free yourself from chains. Now I got a little spell fragment here. Break chains of illusion and set all things to right. Reveal what has been hidden and bring the truth to light. But remember, the truth will set you free, but it'll probably piss you off first. Thank you, Aunt Gloria Steinem. She's not really my aunt. I love her. Oh, I'm such a feminist. Anyway, so let me give you the little prayer, the little blessing thing to weave it all together, because I have the grace of prayer born with it. Praying at an incredibly young age. So let's see what the divine wants to say through me for you, my beloved Aquarians. Please take a nice deep breath. My pantheons of the divine, may the Aquarius collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation, that they are able to free themselves from the destructive impulses, really using their spiritual power to tap into the harvest of all of the wealth and creativity that they need, that will really allow them in their vocation to be as the King of Pentacles, with boundaries, but 10th house, evolving and alchemizing their highest potential. And if we knew what our highest potential was, we would run and hide. That's why it's a journey. So that in their career, they're really able to use their entrepreneurial, creative skill and ability to alchemize anything into gold and really delight into sharing life's riches. But doing that by going inside and embracing perhaps the emotionals, the emotional baggage, the stuff from other times when unfairness has gone on in their life, in their work, career, vocation, their relationships. Does feel like there's a one-on-one relationship here in play in some way, that something's a little dicey, a little unfair, a little unbalanced. So, but that they can really do this from a place of emotional maturity, really understanding that I don't have to destroy this person, because a lot of what I'm feeling is from my own past, when this has happened before and I was too young, and I know more now, so I can, whatever arises, love that. I can actually love myself in a way to do some of this alchemy, and at the same time really, really, really share the riches that come from that at the right time, so that in their work they can really balance justice and compassion, and manage the fair distribution of power in their physical world, balancing them out inside themselves, heart, throat, third eye, crown, perhaps going a little bit more third eye in terms of learning, in terms of seeing things from that higher perspective, but either dealing with someone who is withholding, or they are withholding themselves, money, information, emotion, that will bring this to clarity in time for sure. But for now, they have the ability to choose wisely and well, to bring themselves into balance and power, to free themselves, to turn lead to gold, and to be wise and well in their work, career, vocation. So may they again be blessed with all that they need this April and May 2021, that they may heal, grow, learn, become, fulfill their role in the divine plan, fulfill their life purpose in their work, career, vocation, for their well-being and for the well-being of all of life. So to be. And so it is. It was long, but it was good. Good prayer. If you liked it, want more, subscribe, comment as you like, particularly the zodiacal stuff. There's a lot of zodiacs going on here, right? We've got Scorpio, we've got Cancer, we've got Capricorn, we've got Libra on the table there, at least in terms of named cards, right? So, let me know how this feels for you. It's a general read, and by the way, if you'd like to book me, easy enough. Find me on social media. Facebook is easier because we can do Facebook video call, but if we do it on Zoom, you can record it. So that's the deal. All my info's in the description box below. Go read my book, Words of Grace. You'll like it. It's good. And I have a feeling, if you're really dealing with the Exorcist, you might want to get into some grace anyway. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Wishing you all the very best and the very blessed in your work, career, vocation, April, May 2021. My aquariums, my aqua lungs, hail. Farewell. And blessed be.